Hello, hello, everyone. How are you? I think they're awake. You think they're awake, James? I think they're awake.
They're awake? You woke them up?
I hope they're awake. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Mayor's Desk with James Hutt. I'm Rob Barefoot. I'm the host for this, where we answer your questions about Cyberpunk Red mechanics and other random things. Like, what is with the question about barbecue already?
There's a barbecue question?
There's a barbecue question in chat, and I kind of want to answer it.
All right. I can't see it right now.
I know.
Let
Barbecue
me pull up
sauce is
the chat on my
ketchup-based,
phone.
vinegar-based, mustard-based, or just dry rub?
Ooh, it depends on what style you're going for.
Yeah.
There's no best.
Mm.
If it's in front of me, it's leaving.
Yeah,
You know?
I'm honestly more of a fan of it being mustard-based or dry rub.
I do like mustard base. I do like dry rub.
Vinegar, it depends on the
But
meat.
I also like the Japanese soy sauce base one. And that's real barbecue too.
Yeah, I was torturing a friend of mine this week over barbecue because we were just sitting spending some time, and I knew she was hungry, and me and a friend were talking about what makes the good burritos, and I go, I wonder what it would taste like just to have barbecue ribs but in a burrito, and I got smacked for it.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I got smacked hard for that one because we were just trying to see how hungry we could make her. But all right, y'all. So, for those unfamiliar what's going to go on here, we're going to be answering questions from our community post in the YouTube channel here. So, if you head over there, I'm not going to be taking any further ones after this point. And of course, after this stream, I delete that because YouTube's algorithm likes to push out 10-day-old posts for some reason every now and then. Then after that, I'm going to answer a few questions from chat, but I do want to put a little bit of a dent in our backlog over on Discord. We've got it growing there, and I do want to show them that they do exist. I've had people getting angry at me. Getting angry. I'm not answering there.
We'll show them.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, we had a lot of stuff around martial arts, so we've been just kind of catching up on that. So, is there anything you wish to plug, James, before we get going?
Oh, real quick, JamesHuttGames.com. Join now because I'm gonna be out a drop in about a week.
We got something coming.
Some Beetle stuff coming.
Okay, I didn't know if it was that or Glance.
Yeah. Won't get into that. It's Beetle World related, but it's very good and some critical changes that I think bring the game up to a very playable state.
I remember y'all. I think it was PAX Unplugged. You didn't come back to the room until what 3, 4, 5 a.m. after y'all went over to Emerald and Diamond Dust's room. And you and all the
there was
volunteers
a very
played.
Long night of Beetle World playtesting, which is very good.
So I remember hearing you coming back, and like I woke up and I'm like, that can't be him. The sun is coming up over the horizon. That can't. All right, let's get to the questions here. First one off the bat from Universalis Rex, who actually just asked the barbecue question. I'd be a jerk if I made that count, but it'd be so funny. It would be so funny. In the core rulebook, page 221, thank you for the reference. The critical injury rules say when you roll until you get the one that they aren't already suffering. And a lot of things that deal in automatic critical injury, it's either roll on the table or deal this specific critical injury unless they have it already. The one place I see mentions dealing a critical injury if the same one has already been applied is aimed shot to the leg, stating if they have any legs left, which are broken. I like how we have the clarification if they have legs left.
Right.
So this is the question. What happens if I use Kung Fu's crane form against the same target twice? Obviously, it'd be over at least 2 turns, and assuming they have any eyes left, which aren't damaged or lost, would the -2 penalty be cumulative for each damaged eye?
Right. So if you want the total blindness rule, is it. First off, you can't do that. Sorry, not how that works. Blinding people is incredibly OP. That is a game balance thing, not a reality thing. But if you want what the total blindness rule looks like, there's a reason it's a tarot crit and not a typical standard crit. I believe it is Justice, but I don't remember. It's in the DLC that has the tarot crits in it. Now that DLC has not been put into an interface because it contains
2077 art.
A lot of 2077 art.
Yeah.
And it was very awesome that we even could do it. So please go do it. Please go there. And then, people always ask, how do you get the tarot cards? Well, you can print them out. you can print them out.
Mm-hmm.
And they make tarot card sleeves. They exist.
They actually do, because I used to have a tarot deck. Yeah.
And then you can put a tarot deck that you get for cheap, like a Rider weight. I think they're like $15 in the back. Put those in the front. There you go.
I still
because
wonder
I don't
why.
recommend going to people, like selling it on Etsy and stuff.
I still wonder why they've never made the tarot deck printed out. I know CDPR would, but
we can't talk about that.
Yeah,
let's not get into that.
We won't go into that. We can't talk about it. Like I will openly state any questions about Cyberpunk 2077 or Orion, I will not be answering further for foreseeable future. All right, we just need to go ahead and make sure that is stated. So now let's see here. What do we got next? Question for something that was asked last week. Okay, from Akimbo. A question was asked if melee weapons from Anissa's coordinated combo using melee weapons proc capoeira slash dance. I remember that question. They'd like to expand on that question. Would the torn muscle critical injury caused by coordinated combo using a melee weapon or any shared attack requirement automatically proc the critical injury requirement for slash dance?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Causing a critical injury from one thing counts as causing a critical injury from the other one.
We really did what we could to make sure those martial arts flow into one another.
Even better, though, is SOV system. SOV system. So this kind of dovetails on both those questions that we were just asked. SOV system is incredibly strong, and I don't think people understand how strong it is. Because SOV system, you can keep spamming Dirty Blow, and you'll get a new crit every time. So if you want every single one of your attacks to affect a randomly rolled critical injury, and it can't be for an object, Dirty Blow and SOV system is just amazing. And it'll also count as a crit for the purposes of that other thing. Anyway, recommended. I am pulling up I got the chat now on my phone.
Yeah, go for it. Abigor, your question got cut off, apparently. I do not see it any further. Skipping a few that we can't answer. From HK417, I swear to God, if you would have went with HK from Knights of the Old Republic, I'm replaying them right now. I would have laughed my ass off. What does someone with high body look like? If you were at a 12 body with a Sigma frame, are you also expected to be tall and muscular, regardless of your initial body rating? How does body...
I don't think you're expected to be tall. I think you're expected to look ripped.
Yeah. In Black Chrome Plus, there's a visual guide. And while you may not be tall, you will be stout because you have additional stuff under your body. Now, there's...
Now, it's a guide, not a ruler, right?
It's a guide.
It's not a... It's a guide. There are people with like sleeper build looks, there are people that don't look buff in real life that are really freaking buff. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
It does seem level of nuance is present in the world. For rules wise, this is like, how can I want to make sure they don't think I'm a threat type thing. And the answer to that is you might want to invest in some body sculpting, because some body sculpting can hide a lot. Also, the reason why people are really scared of exotics is most of the time you can't tell if they have a hugely powerful military grade linear frame under there.
Yeah, because
it's hid under a bunch of fur and body sculpting.
Even this, it is it's someone who's worried about their players trying to cheese being tiny with like a Sigma frame under their bodies. Sigma frames that's FBC shit. That's chonka boys.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
and so for the people that are also like, I have a Gemini, right, and it looks like a human. Gemini are like the when you're putting a frame into a FBC, you can make them look big and you can make them look small, but you can't make them look. When you start putting an Omega into a Sigma, people start going, that's a really big dude. Even though it looks like a dude, I'm kind of, I'm pretty sure.
I got a visual reference that's easy to pull.
It's the same thing as if you're an incredibly beautiful person in Cyberpunk Red. Everyone will expect that it's not natural, because that's the normal.
I have a reference. Remember after the time skip in Edgerunners when David goes against the super jacked out Maelstrom guy?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you would look like if you're packing the biggest internal frame right there. I mean, he may be tall, but even if he was shorter, he would still have that mass to him. Like David, I won't say what David's packing for what he has.
Could be in an Omega, could be in any of the 3 levels.
Mm-hmm. But that big guy is what you'd expect. If you're packing an internal frame, there is visual indicators, and people just trying to sneak it. Body sculpting would be the way to go, but still, if people see you and they get the right glance, they'll notice. Like even, I'm not going to go into it.
They have to roll it's a rabbit hole, right?
They have to
They're
roll
rolling a check at the end of the day, and if they roll high enough and the GM determines that the DV is sufficient, then they know what they know, don't they?
Yep. If a player's trying to get rid of the drawbacks of having something, you need to let them be reminded that you're packing in something that makes you able to lift cars into a very small package. How is that gonna work out? You can just have them set up with something smaller, but something
sometimes I like to say, great, but what are they gonna do about it?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. How are they gonna do about it?
If they want to shrink it that much, invest the money, do a tech upgrade. Like compress that shit.
I'd say that would be tech upgrades are so if you're a player, tech upgrades are a way for you to say I want this sort of like part of my character to be rules, to be in rules instead of in story. That's one way that you can say, okay, I've invested in this being a part of the rules of our game. All right, and now that we have mentioned tech upgrades once, I'm going to move that cursor over there. We'll just see how far that gets today.
Okay, I see what you're doing, and I was wondering where that thing was going to be. He was moving it around as we were prepping, and I thought he had a wasp in his apartment. I've been watching videos of a guy who keeps wasps as pets, like free flying around in a room in his house. It is the most anxiety-inducing thing I ever have seen. Anyway, Gronk Deslaya. I think Gronk's actually in the chat right now. I saw that. Yeah, the Gronk's in the chat.
Up, Gronk.
So Gronk is curious about the reasoning behind the +2 to library search that an agent provides. Is it due to characters being able to utilize them to interface whatever the library search check is made, thus it's easier, or is it due to any other reason? That's just being able to search on your phone. It's really that? You're utilizing the AI.
That is the AI assistant.
Yeah, I was about to say it's either that or the AI.
That's the AI assistant.
Pretty straightforward on that one. All right, Alienov, let's see. Oh, it's Leonov. All right. Question. Question is, if a team has no tech in a team and want to invent or upgrade something, how, as a GM, can I handle with NPC tech job payment? If they look into services, I find professional service good, 100 eddies an hour. So it's core rulebook 376. Thank you for the page reference. Those are the best things people can do.
The best way to do it is to have it be a story thing. Like, hey, it costs a lot. I'll be working for you guys for like half of a month. Either they get a cut in of like a job, and that means they make less money, or they do something nice for them, something they go out of their way, they risk death for that NPC. Those are the better ways to handle it other than money. Other than that, well, we got professional services in there for a reason. If they need like a really big tech thing is going to be super expensive for that. But to be honest, that's because that's what corps are going to pay them for doing the same work. So you kind of do have to either be willing to trade, services, or you have to have the money. And by that, we mean a lot of money. Because these are valuable professionals using their time. So just think about that next time you have one of your fellow players offer to tech and upgrade something for you, how much they're really giving you, and how nice you should be to them, and how many beers you should buy them.
And also make sure they don't turn you into a money printing machine. Careful with that. Always be careful with that.
Yeah.
People will always try to game the system.
Don't allow that. And you're the GM, so you know how to do that already.
Yeah. They're mostly looking for like need help with the math of it. That's what they're looking for. Good answer.
Math is presented in the core rulebook as the professional services thing. That's by the hour. So do the math yourself. I mean, you see how many hours it takes. I don't know what you're trying to make, so.
All right, so that's
but the best way to do it is, make them do a really dangerous job, or have that person like, or they pay them, right, and then they call them like, there are people at my house. I don't know who to call. Help me.
I'm gonna regret this.
Because once they like, once they buy into that NPC becomes like kind of a part of the team. And I mean, you can use it to create story.
Mm-hmm. I'm about to regret it. I'm gonna try to say his name. Chunt Cruntley. Yeah, I did it again. Good. Oh, I didn't screw it up. Hell yeah.
Him.
God.
Him once more.
Oh God, this is as bad as the Mike Tyson guy with VTubers. Hey fellas, back again with a question. He actually asked Jay Gray during one of his AMAs. So he figures it's only fair to zip it to us. Oh, we're about to have fun with this one. What are some of your non-traditional sources of inspiration for Cyberpunk? His is the Industrial Revolution, because while the technology itself is antiquated by Cyberpunk standards, the horrific treatment of workers.
I'm sorry.
I'm country. Leave me alone. I'm from Georgia. My education system sucks.
Antiquated.
Shut up. Don't you dare get me going with too much of it. Don't you mess with me, you Yankee.
I don't understand our antiquated.
Come hit you in the head with some moonshine. But they were referencing the horrific treatment of workers, and the environment fits in with the genre. Yeah. So I'll let you go first, and then I'll go after. I won't interrupt you, because I know exactly who I'm going to pull from.
Sounds good. Their Industrial Revolution is great. I like to reference a lot some like more science fiction takes on modern stuff, like the financial downturn, recent 2006 financial downturn. Death of coal industry is a pretty good one. I like that narrative. I like how it creates like a more like down to earth, pardon the pun, basis for that stuff. I like LA Riot stuff.
Oh wow!
Because LA Riot stuff is very, very close to Cyberpunk, and those are the like. But the more you read, the better you write. In this stuff, more inspiration is always going to be better, and there are a lot. I'll put it the other way. There's a lot of William Gibson that people don't read that isn't Neuromancer. And whenever I say that, I always say read The Wind-Up Girl right after that. So we'll just get to that, and then I'm done. The Wind-Up Girl is a fantastic, I think it's technically solar punk, but it's like really dark solar punk. It's not the hopeful solar punk stuff. And I really do recommend it. Also, it takes place in India, which is an awesome like basis for cyberpunk settings. And anyway, that's my done. I'm done. You go.
So
I'm unmedicated.
Oh no, you're good.
I'll say it.
Don't worry, I am overly caffeinated. I'm running on pure coffee today, y'all. You have no idea. It's been a hell of a week. So for me, a lot of my inspiration has always come from movies. I love schlop. I love horror movies. I'm a huge horror movie fan. And I was actually talking with Mike when he's over in Poland, like earlier this week, and the topic actually came up that whenever I'm running Cyberpunk, one of the things I always call back to, of course, you always call back to Blade Runner one way or another, but when it comes to the setting of how crazy Cyberpunk's Night City can be, I look back at Predator 2 and how LA was. That to a T is the right amount of overly actiony bullshit combined with the lunacy that just when you take LA and trump it up to 10, that's the whole vibe of Predator 2's Los Angeles. I love it.
Nice.
I do pull a lot from horror movies because I love building tension. I don't like movies where you just see the monster and it's just a bloodfest. No, I like something that creates dread. I feel that when you're in a city, you of course are surrounded by millions of people. There's always someone around. There's always someone looking. And people will take that for granted, and making a place that's crowded have tension is difficult. So I rely on basically anything I can pull from that has a little bit of lunacy to it. Like Escape from LA and Escape from New York. Those are two other great examples that I pull from. A lot of people will say The Warriors. I don't use anything from The Warriors. It's cool to see the gangs in it, but, you know, my references come from more eccentric films like Demolition Man. Come on. Oh my god. Perfect cyberpunk movie and completely lunacy. I also pull things philosophy-wise from Star Wars Legends. You know, something from where you never know who truly is working behind the curtain against you. And then before you know it, the person you've been helping is actually the person who flips the switch and all goes to hell. You never know who actually was your friend and who was using you. In terms of other movies I pull from, I've really had a good time using ideas from a movie called Upgrade. It was very under the radar. It was made by the same guys who made Saw. And it is about a guy who, I'm not going to spoil it, don't worry. It's definitely set in the future. It's about a dude who refuses to have any kind of implants. He's completelyGanic. His wife has like an internal phone and stuff like that, and they get involved in an accident. And he gets paralyzed from the neck down, and it's an attack. Someone kills his wife. And they, for some reason, shoot him in the back of the neck, paralyzing him. And his employer that he's working for, a client, he makes vintage cars, you know, cars with nothing in them, reaches out and says, I can help, and puts an AI in him. And the whole premise of the movie is what happens when you put an AI into a human body, because it gives him back his ability to move and walk. It is, yeah, we won't talk about the ending. We are not discussing that ending. That was a hell of a film. It's a very low budget film, good action, and very funny at times too, because I will at least say this. It showed this in the trailers. There are times where he gives up control of his body to the AI. And the result is amazing. So a lot of movies, some that are schlop, but I like to pull from Alien, I like to pull from Terminator, I like to pull from Predator. Because I feel in horror movies, you do see the worst of humanity, and it's not always the monster that's the monster in those movies, and I like to lean on that.
Mm-hmm. All right. What's next?
All right, so we got a martial arts question from Jay Feather. Oh, Jay snuck in? Oh, it's a martial arts question.
Hey. From Jay what?
Oh, no, it's from Jay Feather.
Yeah.
If a solo uses multi-arm melees armed and dangerous to reallocate their combat awareness points to initiative reaction, does that change their position in the initiative queue? Inversely, does reallocating combat awareness points spent on initiative reaction to something else, say precision attack, decrease their position in the initiative queue? So they're asking if they're able to slide around initiative by reallocating their initiative points. I think we mentioned
you can
that.
reassign your combat awareness points if you're a solo. Okay, and now I'm gonna pull up.
Yeah, I'm on it too. This like near 187. By default, no, I'm not right now looking in vehicle combat. Why do I always go to 187? Or is it 178?
Good, I guess.
It's a race. It's a race. Come on, where are you? I'm not looking at chat. Don't give me the answer. I already know people are going to try to give me the answer. I'm not even going to look up at you. Screw you, chat.
I
will find this.
It's a race. We're racing now.
I've already gone too far back. I'm back now in the new street economy. I know I went too far.
Oh, I have a search function. He's done.
I hate you. Don't you dare go on Demiplane, you asshole.
I'm not on Demiplane. I'm in my PDF on my phone.
Here we go.
146.
140. Oh my god, I kept jumping back behind it. But are you sure 146? Yep, you're right.
Sure
146. Wow, I was way far back. And yep, there's LCC saying 146. All right, so combat awareness. Oh, hey, there's something important here to say. Your reflexes are trained to respond instantly without thinking at the start of a firefight. Each point adds a +1 to rolls made. That's all that says it.
Yeah. So you can reassign your combat awareness points if you're solo, but initiative reaction only works at the start of the fight. It won't add to a roll you already made. It'll add to if you make any new ones.
Yeah.
Now there are, I believe, David's Sandevistan does that. So if you want to multi-arm melee in order to get better at David's Sandevistan ability to re-roll your initiative. Wait, no, I think it just puts you in number 1.
I think it bumps you up to the top because that actually gives you a good reference though. Okay. That shows the comparison.
Yeah, there's no combo here.
Yeah.
And to be honest,
that's OP as hell. Is what I was about to say.
It's a bit weird to like
initiative jump.
It's just a bit weird to like drift around initiative like that. Now that's not to say that multi-armed melee's armed and dangerous isn't really good, because moving those points fluidly is really fun. I remember it being fun.
Where the hell? I've lost my rulebook.
Rip. Don't worry, I got it up on my phone.
Yeah, I'll find it eventually. There's a billion things.
Yeah, I mean, hell, you can lower the penalty for making aim shots with brawling to a -5, which is really good.
Yeah, think of it like this. Bringing up David Sandevistan is a good example of the power you're asking to be able to do on the whim. You are literally saying, hey, with my combat ability, can I do something the equivalent of a 250,000 eddy jump in power? Now, while it is cool, it would be cool.
Here's why it's really good.
It'd be a GM call, in my opinion, if they want to allow that, but I wouldn't. That's wrong. Where the fuck is it?
Because it's potentially going to give you the ability to take 2 turns in a row. And taking 2 turns in a row is excruciatingly powerful because you can just pick a guy and kill him a lot of the time.
Yep.
I would recommend against that. But let's move on. I think we've thoroughly answered the question.
Yeah. I'm gonna be pissed about that for a while until I find it. I know it's somewhere in this house. Here we go. From Jeff DeWitt. Hey Jeff. Plan to drop his PCs into a Biotechnica version of Jurassic Park soon. Fuck yeah. How would you stat dinosaurs? What dinos would you use and why? I'm gonna let this be all you. I'm not getting into this one. This is a you question for sure.
Oh.
And I'm 100% looking for that book still. It's gonna bug me till I find it. So you have until the.
Let me sell you on a Artal Saurian Games product that may be coming in the future.
Will be.
You may be interested in a game called Fossilized Violence that we are working on right now. There are no dates, but that might be interesting. The thing about dinosaurs is they're very big, and they need to be able to do big damage because they're big. So I would say get the biggest damage, put a dinosaur toy on the table, move the dinosaur however you want to move the dinosaur, describe the dinosaur going through buildings, crashing into stuff and being too big for its environment, and the environment having to take the brunt of that. And then just do some really powerful melee attacks. You don't even need a stat block or anything. If you want to just have fun that way, just have fun that way. You don't need, as long as you make everything that you're doing fun, you don't need to write it down beforehand. And in this case, because I don't think that you're going to be returning to dinosaurs a lot after this campaign, I recommend doing it off the cuff. Because that'll enable you to focus more on like, oh man, when the dinosaur moved through this building, the building started falling down. Now the building is falling down, so please make me a check. Oh, and then the dinosaur gets to its spot and wants to bite this person.
See me?
Yeah.
I would like to keep, if I'm doing dinosaurs, I'd make them human-sized threats. Get them with those nice old-fashioned velociraptors from Jurassic Park. You know, the ones that are not proper. Those are proper Utah raptors. And
Utah Raptors.
5d6 slashing damage once per turn for a rate of fire 1, or a bite for a rate of fire 2 at 4d6 slashing.
Yeah. ROF 2 46 slashing sounds like it'd be a pretty like raptor level deadly threat.
You can give them a special attack that if they jump on an opponent, opponent has to make a DV 14 save or get pinned. They're not
Yeah, but I would then lower the attack they're about to make to a 1 ROF 5d6.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't do the attack the same turn. They'd have to. We can theory on that for a while. I know us. I will find this fucking book.
But that's good. That's like, that's all you need, man. Don't overthink it. You know.
Yeah, just have some fun with it. We have
and
somebody
in the future.
We have somebody who thinks auto fire is useless in red compared to 2020. Aw, they miss rolling a bunch of dice.
Well, that's because 2020 is like 8 points of damage kills anybody.
Yeah, let's see here.
There is no balance.
All right, so last question from the posts. Hoxton Hummingbird. I like that name. Their questions concerns Militech commando training, fuck yeah, and light melee weapons. So Interface Red Volume 4, page 80. Combat knife training requires you to attack with a light or medium melee weapon and allows you to deal very heavy melee melee weapon damage. By the way, us picking on the whole auto fire thing, we just get that question a lot and we explain it a lot, but long story short, balance. That's all. I would to properly answer that, it's a balance reason. What happens once I take a light melee weapon, dip it into poison or biotoxin, and then use combat knife training? Do I deal rate of fire 146 plus poison damage to health? So around 66 to 76 with parts of that going to health. Yeah, I actually had. I think that's right. I think that's right. Poison damage is nasty.
Let me check.
We don't have that limit on it. I know that already. We don't. That is a literal use of those little light melee weapons. That makes an assassin deadly.
All right. It can smear it on it. No, it's a must instead.
Must instead?
Yeah, it's an instead. So vial of biotoxin changes your light melee weapon into a check that does damage directly to HP.
Yeah, and
you do not get the bonus. It's a replacement.
To state so everybody knows, the errated Interface Red Volume 4 is coming out very, very soon. We're putting the last little bits on it. So yeah, I expect another wave of questions, but we have a lot of stuff refined, answered a bit more clear, and it's been all due to the questions y'all have been asking yourselves. So again, thank y'all for coming to us with all these questions. This is why we prioritize the martial arts questions. Had a question on the community post. I'll refresh it, but that's the last one I'm gonna do from the community post because I want to get to.
So when you attack with a poisoned knife, you are not trying to do the same thing that combat knife training is trying to do. You're not attacking with the knife in the same way. One is like
All right, I've had a couple more questions asked on the community post. So remember, guys, going forward, I only take the post before the stream, so that way I can allot the time proper. There's 2 questions I'll answer here, but I want to get to the Discord a little bit more too. We've been neglecting them, and I feel bad.
Let's go to Discord.
Oh no, we'll go ahead and pop this up.
Do it.
Let's see. Well, no, we'd be going to chat then Discord, so we'll be quick on this. Want to make sure and understanding Borg Fist on IRV4 page 81. This is from LCC. The text states, if you succeed, you may make a martial arts Panzerfaust attack that deals 5d6 damage instead of its typical damage to the target, as opposed to the usual if you hit effect. So is it move resolution against evasion, then attack against evasion, or move resolution against evasion, then deal 5d6 damage? If it is the first, can that attack be aimed?
So instead of making 2 attacks, you choose to make a Borg Fist. You use your action to make a martial arts special move against a single target. So you're rolling your martial arts special move resolution against a single target with a lower body than you, in melee range. And if you succeed, you can then make an attack. No. Okay.
Sorry if I hear barking in the background. Scar's going nuts.
Let's figure this one out.
What's wrong, you big fat chonker? He sees something outside he don't like.
So you still have to make the attack. Think. I need to look at that. It's possible that we could create a version of that has clarity, but that will be coming in future weeks.
Yep, in the errata.
I can't remember if I wanted it one way or the other off the top of my head. It is, and I'm electing to do it right instead of doing it fast in this moment.
That's fair. Especially since we've made it clear that we are going to be... I'm not petting him when he's barking. He's a big dog. Plus I'm live streaming.
Yeah, it's I'll have to... This requires more than 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. This is a wording resolution. So this is an example of what we mean that we would errata.
Yeah. We're errating for clarity, and I need to make sure I do clarity in the right direction. Mm-hmm. Which means I need to go back to old notes, which I don't have in front of me right now. So we'll move on. Thank you for the good question.
So what I'm going to do is this next question will give me the time to bring up the rest of the stuff. This is from Infernox. Hey, James, how would one make skill chips more appealing for use in the broader audience? They're already usable, but what would be a good way to show their potential, especially when they're asking to be used for the new martial arts forms? So how would you make those more fun?
Just show them, show other, show NPCs having them. Yeah. Show NPCs using them and having fun with them, and then the players would be like, wow, that's really cool. And then they might even kill the guy and get one. And then they'll be like, oh, wow, this is cool. What other good things are skill chips used for? Having people die with skill chips on them as loot is really good, especially for skills that like your players might not have taken. They incentivize a lot of use. I would say your players are playing the game the way they want to play the game, and if they're not, trying to inspire them is a good thing. Also, like making sure they have a copy of the rule book, making sure you're not all just using one copy, or like there are it's pretty hard if like you only have one physical copy of the rule book for your whole group, to get them interested in the world and the deeper rules, because they aren't going to want to like let them borrow it for a week, you know, in between game sessions. And they'll come back and be like, wow, I learned of all these cool things. That happened in one of my early D&D games when I was a kid, and it was like, oh, that makes sense. They didn't have the copy to read, so of course they couldn't get as interested as I was. Anyway, that's it for me on that one. I hope it helps.
I'm going to hop right over to Discord to answering pressing questions. We've had a few questions in chat, but most of which are pretty straightforward, including, actually one, we'll do one from chat, Friedrich Lemons. And this goes back to one we answered earlier. Krav Maga's, is it Krav Maga or Krav Maga? I think it's Krav Maga. James is focused on his phone.
Sorry. I gotta make a note about that previous one.
Oh, you're taking a note. All right, that's different.
Krav Maga?
Yeah. So Krav Maga uses an ambiguous or in its requirements. Is any crits from a special move resolution or only from the former mentioned martial art styles like karate? So they're asking if it's any critical hit. Let's see. Yeah, they're asking for clarification. Is it any crits from a special move resolution or
there
only?
Is no, it's in contact combat?
He did not specify. Saying it's definitely Krav Maga in text form does not help me with the
All right.
pronunciation.
In contact combat for Krav Maga, the requirement is you inflicted a critical injury with a Aikido, boxing, judo, karate, Krav Maga, or wrestling martial arts attack or martial arts special resolution this turn. I think that's clearly Aikido, boxing, judo, karate, Krav Maga, wrestling. Those are the ones that count. Now, it's an attack or a martial arts special move resolution that causes those. So, importantly, you can't use SOV system to use contact combat every freaking turn. That is so broken. That also, if you, it makes sense because Krav Maga is like those arts stapled together in a specific way.
Alrighty.
So it also, it's lore.
You're ready. I've looked at the Discord, and the first question is one that makes me go, well, this one kind of answers itself. From Foxy Person.
Okay.
As a GM, what price category / pieces would it require, in your opinion, to build a humanoid android body? This is someone wanting to make an
needs to get going metal.
Yeah, they need to get going metal, and they're asking how much time, power, money would it require to build the AI for it?
Android is the problem, and that we're not answering.
Yeah, they're wanting to build an android body and put an AI in it. We get this question a lot.
Homebrew. Yeah. They can look at going metal as a good starting place, but then after that point, they got to jump off on their own.
Yeah, we have stated multiple times, because this comes up a lot lately. To put it plainly, having an android with an AI in it may not fit, at least in the style of play you're looking for in Cyberpunk Red. It's about people. You're looking for something a bit more further off in the future, and you're also trying to put an AI into a setting where even the slightest hint of that would cause panic. It's like trying to play a it's like trying to play an Illithid in D&D and just go down the streets of Waterdeep and not expect to be, immediately stopped and slaughtered. Unless people are failing their mental checks. Or like an Aboleth. Like, there's some things that just, if it's for your game, cool. But you don't need an official answer for that one. That's going to go into the realm of homebrew. So it's up to you on that one.
Yeah, we sent them on their way after providing what assistance we could.
I know. I'm just stating. We get the question a lot.
We did right.
We get it a lot.
Don't worry.
I've had to answer it a couple times.
Do. Remember all the Davids and Devastans that are in homebrew? At least it's not
so many. Oh, so many. So many people think it's time control.
I mean,
yeah, a lot of folks keep thinking Saint Devastans are time control.
Let's move on. I don't.
Anyway, from Daedrin.
We got the Edgerunners mission kit. Value.
For the Edgerunners mission kit, what items do you need to net run if you have a neuroport? Please list the required implants or items. It's actually in
to net run.
It's in there. Yeah,
to net run. It is in there.
It's in there. Yeah, it's your cyber deck, and you have virtuality built into your neuroport. Yeah. There's even a neuroport cyber deck port. So the answer's there.
Right.
Just take a look in it. I know people hate when we say read the rules for some questions, but that's in the case of check the book. It's right there.
Yeah,
Corgopolis.
It's in the quick hacking section.
Yeah, Corgopolis.
And if you can't find it there, you can find it in the rules in the back.
Yeah, remember, for the Edgerunners mission kit, everything in there is made to run the jacket. If you're trying to use it for a 2077 campaign, we actually state the GM's going to have to make the calls to make it fit and do some wiggling.
Yeah, but in the back of that, we do have a small guide.
We say it in there.
So check the small guide. We do. In fact, I wrote a small guide in the back.
Yeah,
so read the small guide.
Speaking of which, still pissed I can't find that book. I will find it.
He can't find it. He can't find it.
For Corgopolis, here we go.
We got 5 minutes left.
5 minutes left? All right, big one then. We're at least caught up to April 25th now. This is
Right.
less of a mechanics or narrative question. So he's not sure if this is
Good.
fitting for the mayor's desk, but he's curious, so he'll put it anyway.
It's fitting. It's fitting. I
Are
make
there...
judgments and pronouncements on all things.
Oh, God. Uh-oh. I dread asking this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Act.
Are there any aspects or mechanics or parts of Cyberpunk Red that either of you would like to see more community content made around? To be clear, I don't mean DLCs or Artausorian products. I'm more so referring to anything you'd like to see the community make more of, whether that be homebrew, videos, guides, etc. For example, would you like to see more homebrew around a specific mechanic or part of the game, or videos on a certain part of running Cyberpunk Red, and so on? Oh
I
boy.
want to see your ideas, not mine.
You already know I'm obsessed with finding
I wanna,
niches that are not filled and telling people to fill them, and then people don't fill them.
but like that's not why I like that stuff. I like it when the community has their own ideas and they make a cool thing and they make it their own and then maybe get excited about writing and try to make it their career. You know?
Yeah.
Like that's cool. I also like it when people have an awesome campaign they're really invested in, and then they share some of the tech upgrades that they've made in that campaign.
Yeah.
And said, hey, and this caused these things to happen, and we think maybe it was balanced for this gameplay. That's cool too. I think those are both really relevant. Something I haven't seen a lot of is adventure content. Like if you have some campaign notes and you're the type of person who writes out your campaigns, that's homebrew too. You know, it doesn't have to be items and stuff.
Yeah.
It can be like one-shot adventures. That's good, frankly.
Yeah, people really underestimate their own campaign notes and how they can be used to help other people. Because, if you're wrapped up, I'll tell them exactly what I see. There's a hole in right now.
All right, you tell them how you feel. Okay. But that's my take.
All right. So, even before I made my channel, I always made it a habit to take a look at what everyone else is doing. I see what they don't do, and then I do that. And that led me to being very successful on YouTube. So if we're talking videos and stuff, it's actually something I'm preparing to do myself because I would like to have a low effort, low editing thing to do on the side. So what I'm going to be doing is, there was a very, very, very charismatic, handsome man about 9 years ago who, alongside Critical Role, started to teach people how to GM. And properly how to DM. To this day, I owe Matt Colville so much for really getting me through the hard stuff of learning how to GM, because there is now an abundance of teaching people how to play Cyberpunk Red, but there's not that many people who teach how to GM. And we're talking introductory as someone straight up brand new. Someone who's never done it before. Like, I'm already armed and ready for what I was going to do. Like, I have the physical of easy mode right here I was going to be using. I was going to be doing this later today. So that's why I don't mind sharing it. I would much rather other people do my ideas, because I don't want it to seem as if I'm just hogging all the content. People want to learn. People are interested in the game. There is proof of this from how many people watch videos out there. Pure numbers, if we go into it. People want to learn. Help teach them. It doesn't take a lot, and most people just want different perspectives, opinions, and styles of play. My style may not resonate with, everyone in here. Like, I say things that people look at me and go, he's crazy. For example, I tell people to throw cannon to the wind and to only read the core rulebook and not worry about 2020's backlog of books. Not because I hate 2020, but because a new player will get overwhelmed, and you don't want to overwhelm a new player. You don't want to hit people with 30 books right at the start of their time learning a game. That's too much. They will not keep interest. So what I see right now, video-wise and content-wise, people helping others learn how to GM and giving it in a way that's not going to smother them with stuff. You only need to spend 5 minutes explaining one small thing of GMing. That's it. As for homebrew stuff, I would like to see people making their own corporations, and I would like to see people making adventures that do not include feature NPCs or featured locations. I want to see people making new things because reasons. Reasons.
Yeah, new stuff, great. New takes.
Yeah. Like I was even working on a new city just for my own campaign, Saratoga. That's it. It has nothing to do with anything in Night City. I may use a new one of the corps, but the whole intent is to make somewhere new because if I'm playing with a bunch of people who have completely inhaled Cyberpunk content in 2077, they're going to know everything. I can't surprise people like that. And I like surprising people.
Right on, man.
I have one last question, but this is so we can catch up into the month of May. And it's from Arcedia.
I can do it.
This is an easy one, too. So Arcedia asks, when putting a pop-up weapon into a cyber chair, do you still need to use your meat arm to fire it? If not, does this let you get past the cyber arm requirement to use a weapon like a Burya?
Yes.
The chair is operating kind of like its own linear frame, in a way.
Yeah.
Right? It's a mounted weapon at that point.
It's not. I would say it's mounted, but honestly, you're stretching. You're going to edge case land. The chair is a like. There are so many things that is only one edge case related to that chair.
Yeah.
There are a lot more. Like, what if the chair has jump boosters? I don't know. Probably it just works because your GM says, yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, because I popped it open here. It's going to take me longer than like 3 minutes to read through this real fast.
I'll pull up the chair to see if we can directly solve your problem. But
I'm already on it. This is just me curious right here. They're looking at the spider.
So pulling it up.
I'm trying to track it down. Okay, the spider has 4 option slots for installing cyber arm, cyber leg, or cyber limb options. Options installed into the cyber chair always count as if they were paired. Installing an option into the cyber chair costs the same as installing into a cyber limb. It does not say. But this is an old DLC, for the record.
It's an old DLC, but it's a good one.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the example you're looking for is going to be Spider Cyber Chair specifically. It's the only one.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Yeah, it's the Spider Cyber Chair specific. I think you're good. They have option slots in them. So, I mean, if you're looking at that thing right there, you'll see that there's a controller on it. I'd say you still need to use that hand to control the gun, because you have to aim it. It's not going to aim itself.
Yeah, I like to think of it as the gun
pops
up
mind.
And puts it in your hand.
It doesn't have a brain, so you still need a hand to use that joystick.
Yeah.
And I would say if you got 2 guns, you probably need a second joystick. So obviously the answer is to have 4 joysticks, have 4 arms yourself, and then use all 4 of them for a pop-up weapon, for pop-up weapons. There you go. There's your next Cyberpunk character.
Yep. All right. So with that and taking time into consideration, we've already gotten at least up now to the month of May for the backlog of questions. And that would technically
give you 8 arms.
I'm going to ask another question, and I'm going to answer it myself. Blacksteel GMing. Can a fixer get their operator discount on starting equipment? No. That one's easy.
No.
Yeah, no.
No. Your starting equipment is sort of like what you have already. And it's the reason it's really high is that it's what you've gathered over amount of time. Because you're starting at a level 4 rank for your roll ability. And that means that you've actually kind of already been a solo for a while, you aren't just starting out as a solo. You're a established solo
experience,
and so you're building out like this is the kit that you use to get to where you are now. So those, no, you can't do that.
So with that, we will be
and the reason you can't do that, of course, is then like then everybody else would be like, great, can you buy my stuff for my character? And then it's, we very much would like you to start playing and not like adjudicate the past of your characters getting up to that point. It's because nobody cared who I was until I put on the mask type thing.
Well, in line with that statement, I'm going to say one of the questions for next week does involve Batman, but we're saving that for next week. I see the question in the log, and I'm going to be asking that question next week, no matter what, because I like Batman.
There's a lot of you can make a lot of Batman.
Oh, a lot of Batman.
You could probably make most of the Rogues Gallery for Batman if you made the freeze gun yourself.
Yeah. Oh God, don't give me ideas. I'm caffeinated, so I'm creative. Crap. We're gonna go ahead and be calling it here because me and James do want to keep it at an hour. We're at 56 minutes and 45 seconds, so we're gonna cut it here. We will see you all next week if we are able. Shouldn't be no problem though. Go ahead and make your last plugs, James, and we'll go. I almost called you Jay. Go ahead and make your last plugs, and we'll wrap this up.
Watch yourself. Thanks everybody for coming. My newsletter, jameshuttgames.com. That's where you're going to find all the stuff I'm doing that's not directly Tau related. Because I'm going to be dropping some crazy stuff week, and I'm also in that newsletter going to be putting out a new way to get access to all of the old stuff from all of the old newsletters. So good luck. Have fun.
All right, y'all. And of course, if y'all have any questions, you can come over to the Discord that we have. It's discord.gg/RTalsorianGames. The main places to find news from us is our website and here on this YouTube channel. They are the most important places to find news. We do have the other socials, Blue Sky and stuff like that, but the YouTube channel and the website, that's the main places, which is RTalsorianGames.com. And of course, you're here with us on YouTube, so I'm pretty sure you already know where to subscribe and find out what you need. But then again, I am Rob Barefoot. This is James Hutt, and we are done. We will see you all next week. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and make a call, James. Next week, let's dedicate the whole stream to just the Discord questions and a few questions from the live chat. Sound good?
Yeah, okay, we can do that.
Because we got a backlog there. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all next week. Take care.